Today I'm discussing Heretic, Hugh Grant's latest attempt to make his face even more punchable than it already was. I'm just kidding. I love this guy, but he does seem to be really enjoying playing assholes lately. In this latest movie, he plays a man who is taking a curiosity about religion a bit too far, but there is something very interesting about the knowledge that gets dropped on you throughout this movie. With that being said, let's talk about Heretic. Alright, let's get into this. Heretic stars Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher, and Chloe East. Finally, a cast with names that I can actually pronounce. What a nice change. The story follows two Mormon girls who are attempting to recruit people to join their church. We all love door-to-door salesmen after all, especially ones that are trying to convert you to their religion. It's during this outing when they come across a man named Mr. Reed. Now, Mr. Reed has actually inquired about their religion, so he is expecting them, but he's got a different motive. He doesn't just want to learn about their religion. He wants to understand their beliefs and just the idea of belief in general. One of the biggest strengths that this movie has is the buildup. If you've seen the trailer, you already know that that blueberry pie smell was just coming from a candle. So the entire time you're watching it, you're sitting there waiting for that moment of realization to finally arrive. Hugh Grant's character at first comes across as just someone who is curious, someone who maybe is shopping around trying to find something to believe in. It's something that a lot of people do. It's a very relatable thing. So he does not necessarily come off as strange and creepy right from the get-go, but it doesn't take too long into this visit that you realize that there's just something a bit off about this guy. He's just a little unsettling. He does a fantastic job playing this character. He's not overly menacing. In fact, he manages to keep a cheerful smile even while he's tormenting these two girls. And you gotta love a bad guy that knows how to laugh, that knows how to have a little fun while they're doing their bad guy things. You get the sense that something has happened in this guy's life, and that is the reason that he is doing what it is he's doing. It had to be something bad too, because to do all the stuff that this guy does in this movie, you gotta be kind of up. Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East both also do excellent jobs with their roles. They both have completely different personalities. One's more strong, one is more timid, and yet by the end of this movie, they have both transformed into different people. And how could they not? They were kidnapped by some man who lured them there to learn more about their religion, only to pull a gotcha and reveal that he just wants to test them. He's trying to study them. Sophie Thatcher's character, Sister Barnes, is a woman who is perhaps more attuned to the dangers of the world, while Chloe East's sister Paxton, she seems a bit more ignorant. She's never really encountered some of the dangers that are out there. You can really see that in her performance. Or maybe she's not that ignorant. Maybe she's just choosing to let her faith guide her in the belief that people are generally going to be good. It certainly is a nice thought. Unfortunately, that is simply not the case. She's a bashful and very pure-hearted girl, and she really comes off as someone who could barely stand to swat a fly, let alone fight for her life against somebody that is putting her in danger. I thought that the pacing in this movie was really good. I appreciated the build-up because when they first go into the house, they actually have a genuine conversation, and that conversation is really quite interesting. And it's really cool as you see them start piecing together that this is not one of their normal visits. And as they start piecing it together, you're starting to feel more and more excited because you know where this is heading. And that, I think, is a win in terms of the pacing. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if this movie inspires you to do some Googling by the time it's over, because there is some stuff that is dropped on you that, if it's true, it's actually very fascinating. And I am planning on reading a bit more about some of the stuff that I learned throughout this movie. And if you're like the typical audience member, and like myself, you'll be watching this movie with heavily judgmental eyes, assuming that you could do better than these two girls.
So you have to go doon in order to go hoot.
I beg your pardon?
Not only is this a well-made thriller with excellent performances, but it's also engaging in the questions it asks to both the main girls and to the audience. This movie is asking you questions as well. I don't know if this movie is meant to be preachy, but there is definitely some preaching going on just because it's making some serious points. And like I said, you're going to want to look up some of this stuff, because if these points are true, that really is gonna change some people's viewpoints of religion in general. What is faith? What is religion? Some people think it's just a story that adults are telling themselves so that they can feel good about the things that they're doing throughout their day, so that they can feel like there is some kind of point to the end of all of this, because nobody wants to think that this is it. We're gonna work, we're gonna go to school, and then we're gonna die, and that's it. We're worm food. People like to think that there's something afterwards. So is religion more than that? Is it actually true? In the end, it does just come down to faith, because there's very little scientific evidence behind most of the stuff that we've been reading about. And I think that that is kind of the point of this movie. This movie is supposed to make you ask questions. I don't think that this movie is trying to convert people away from religion. I think this movie wants you to be curious and inquire. I think this movie is well worth checking out. The tension is awesome. I enjoyed the build-up. All the performances are well done. I just really felt pulled in, and it was very thrilling, to say the least. For me, this movie is a 9 out of 10. That's my thoughts on this movie. Did you guys see this movie yet? Please put your thoughts on this movie in the comments if you did see it, and let me know, did you like this video? If you did, hit the like button, and if you want to hear more things from me, well then subscribe to this channel. Later.